What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and today we wrap up our first full week of Johnny Depp movies here on the channel as we celebrate his 60th birthday. And today we're going to be discussing Nick of Time, starring, of course, Johnny Depp, alongside Christopher Walken, Roma Mafia, Charles S. Dutton, Marsha Mason, Peter Strauss, and Courtney Chase. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. It is finally Friday, and today we wrap up our first week of Johnny Depp movies here on the channel as we continue to celebrate him on his 60th birthday. And today we're going to be discussing a little known film called Nick of Time. And as our movie opens, Gene Watson is a mild-mannered, widowed accountant who arrives at Union Station in Los Angeles, California, along with his daughter, Lynn. Now, as Gene makes a phone call from a payphone informing an unidentified person that his train was late, two mysterious strangers in suits, known only as Mr. Smith and Miss Jones, survey the situation from a catwalk, discussing a yet-to-be elaborated scheme. After noticing Gene retaliate against a skater who was harassing his daughter, Smith and Jones set their sights on him, and they swiftly approach the pair. Showing a badge, the two strangers convince Gene that they are police officers, and they whisk both father and daughter into a van without justification. Once in the vehicle, Gene begins to notice that things are not quite right, and he begins to get nervous, but Smith subsequently pistol whips him in the leg in order to get his attention. Smith then informs Gene that they will kill his daughter at 1:30 p.m. unless he murders the woman in the photograph. Gene soon learns that the woman in question is Eleanor Grant, the governor of California, and he realizes that killing her would be a suicide mission. Once at the Westin Bonaventure Hotel, where a number of campaign appearances are being held, Gene makes several attempts to warn people about his situation, but Smith constantly follows him around, taunts him, and viciously beats him whenever he does not make a move. Gene manages to find a young campaign assistant named Krista Brooks, who believes Gene's story and encourages him to report the matter to the governor's husband, Brendan Grant. Once in his suite, Brendan and a campaign lobbyist appear to disbelieve the story. And before anything more can be said, Smith appears in the room and fatally shoots Krista, which causes a tense scuffle between Gene and Smith. When Gene awakens after unconsciousness, he discovers that nearly everyone on the campaign, including the governor's husband and staff, are all involved in the plot, with an unnamed lobbyist who is masterminding it all as a revenge for the governor not carrying out her campaign promises. Eventually, Gene finds a disabled veteran named Huey who polishes people's shoes at the hotel. Now, while at first he doesn't believe Gene's story, he soon does after hearing Smith talk to Gene about the plot, believing Huey to be completely deaf due to a sign in his shine area. Huey then reluctantly assists Gene in order to get to Governor Grant's suite and advise her of the conspiracy. Although skeptical at first of Gene's story, she later notices Brendan begin to act suspiciously regarding Krista's whereabouts and she realizes that Jean was telling her the truth. After being hastened by her husband to make her final speech, the governor greets her supporters within a ballroom. Jean takes out his gun, points it at a projector room where Smith is watching him, and shoots at the window. This unleashes a panic in the ballroom, causing a stampede and a brief shootout between Jean and the security detail. Thinking that his wife is dead, Brendan begins to openly gloat about the plot's success, only to find out in horror that she heard everything, which confirms her suspicions about him. And while all this is going on, Huey stalls the armed Jones, who is out in the van with Lynn after being unable to get a signal from Smith. Huey annoys Smith with a squeegee man scheme to the point where a violent confrontation occurs in which she shoots his wooden leg. Right after, she hides under the seat and Jean appears and shoots Smith. Ailing from his wounds, Smith congratulates Jean on finally becoming a killer, just before he is finally killed by him. Before Jones can get a clear shot at the father and daughter, Huey beats her unconscious with his prosthetic leg and wingtip shoe. We then see the conspiracy mastermind stepping onto Jean's broken wristwatch and leaving the hotel in a car as our movie comes to its end. This movie I knew absolutely nothing about going in. It was highly recommended by my girlfriend, said that I had to make sure this one was on my list to do this month for Johnny Depp movies. And that was all I pretty much knew, was it was highly recommended by her. And I'm glad she recommended it. This movie was so good. At the end of the day, it's a morality tale. You know, can you do what needs to be done in order to accomplish a mission? You know, you've got Gene, who's basically being forced into a situation where either he kills the governor or his daughter dies. And what do you do? Because you're not the killing type, you're not a murderer. Are you able to pull the trigger to kill this random person to save your daughter? Or do you take the moral high road and find a way to get out of the situation? And while Gene did kill in the end, pulling the trigger and killing Smith, he didn't kill who they wanted him to kill, and they didn't get to kill his daughter. At the end of the day, he took out the evil within the scheme. And who better to be that evil than Christopher Walken? I mean, really. Christopher Walken, chef's kiss. He is one of those great actors that you just look at him and you automatically smell something evil about him. And Johnny Depp was able to walk that line perfectly in this movie. You know, at the end of the day, he's a father who wants to protect his little girl. He doesn't want to kill the governor. At, to be fair, he doesn't really even want to kill Smith. He's just pushed to that point where he has nothing else to do, no end in sight except to get rid of him. The governor is safe. The governor's husband is found out as being part of the plot. Smith dies. Jean and Lynn survive to begin their life in California. Because at the end of the day, they just arrived here on a train. This is their first exposure to Los Angeles life, is coming off of a train and being thrown into this situation. It's crazy when you think about it. But I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I'm definitely going to have to look to try to find it on physical media. add it to my library, my collection. Have you guys out there seen Nick of Time? What do you think? Do you agree with me when I say that I give this movie 3.5 out of 5 stars? I feel that it's another one of those that could very easily move up with multiple viewings. But at the end of the day, I didn't enjoy it as much as I did Don Juan DeMarco on Wednesday, which is the only reason why I'm giving it a half star less. I just enjoyed Don Juan DeMarco that much more. Both great movies, both completely different. I just enjoyed this one a little bit less. But again, I feel with repeated viewings, could very easily move up in my star ranking. What do you guys think of Nick of Time? Let me know. If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over here. And if you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. And let's have that conversation, that discussion, that debate, that interaction that I'm always asking you guys for in the comments below. And make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, right here to the Casa D18 Studios channel for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. And it'll be new release Saturday. We're going to take a look at the Apple original film, Still, a Michael J. Fox movie. Now, I haven't watched it as of this filming yet, but from everything that I have read about this documentary basically takes a look at Michael J. Fox's life from the moment when he got diagnosed with Parkinson's disease and everything that he has gone through in his personal life and his career while struggling to live with Parkinson's. I'm extremely curious to see how this movie is. I love Michael J. Fox, so make sure you guys tune in tomorrow as we discuss Still, a Michael J. Fox movie. And then later on in the evening, right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, and across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media, it'll be time once again for the Saturday night shenanigans that are Open Mic Night. Myself, the West Coast Professor Jeff Meacham, the simple man with the spectacular voice Noah Foster, the Heeb man James Hebert will all be in attendance, as well as any of our regular misfits of the crew that decide to enter the studio, step up to the microphone, and engage with us and you, the viewers, about the week in professional wrestling. You don't want to miss out on any of that content right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, the Jeff Meacham Network, across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media. Still a Michael J. Fox story for new release Saturday. We've got Open Mic Night, and we've still got quite a few Johnny Depp films that we're going to be taking a look at and reviewing as we celebrate the actor's 60th birthday right here on Renegades Reviews. You don't want to miss any of it, so make sure you smash that like button, make sure you're subscribed, make sure that notification bell is turned on so you don't miss out anytime a video drops right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel or anytime we go live, as is the case with Open Mic Night, Stackboy Sports Bar, pay-per-view PLE watch-along coverage, etc. Share these videos with your family, friends, loved ones, co-workers, movie fanatics, cinephiles in your life, fans of Johnny Depp, fans of Christopher Walken, anybody you can think of that would enjoy this review, this video, share it with them. It's the only way we're going to keep my visibility up in YouTube's algorithm now that we are, in fact, a monetized channel right here on the platform. Thank you once again to everybody out there who joined me and tuned in today. It means so much more to me than you guys will ever know. And I will see you guys next time.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.